Well, hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching a Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka, and my colleague
Yatin, Mota.
Well, Yatin, there's reason to cheer given the fact that the Nifty has snapped a 3-day losing streak, and in fact, we saw a near 100-point rally coming in on the markets today. On the Nifty, rather, ended just about close to that 19,800 mark. Cooled off a bit from the day's high. Nevertheless, nothing to really complain about. Mid and small caps also participating in the up move. In fact, 0.5% gains coming in on both the mid and small cap indices as well. Almost all the sectors in the green. PSU banking pack, IT, of course, FMCG, all of them participating in today's up move. Lots of results have come out. Of course, Cipla has come out, and it did end at its day's high, given the fact that profits grew by 45%, beating estimates. In fact, US business revenues also grew in excess of 40%. So the street literally cheered that, and the stock gained somewhere around 2.5%. We had BPCL reporting numbers, stock reacting to that as well. We had the likes of Bajaj Finance, of course, coming out with good numbers. Some, disappointments in the internals, but, of course, the stock was punished given the fact that it was the top loser on the Nifty. If you look at some of the other movers, of course, L&T was the top gainer on the Nifty after, of course, solid numbers and board approval for the 10,000 crore rupee buyback. And of course, you had the likes of Reliance Industries, ITC staging a comeback, Britannia, Axis Bank ahead of numbers. On the losing front, aside of Bajaj Finance, you had M&M, you had Tech Mahindra ahead of numbers, and of course, Titan, SBI Life post weak numbers on the losing side. Let's talk about some of the movers on the mid-cap end of the markets, Yatin.
So, we had clearly Tata Motors DVR, which was up 12% in trade. And the real reason for the stock to move for 12% was the fact that the company Tata Motors will be issuing 10 shares of Tata Motors DVR for every 7 in Tata Motors. I mean, if you have 10 shares of DVR, you will get 7 shares of Tata Motors. And the arbitrage was close to 20% in the transaction, post which the shares jumped in trade. Idea Cellular, a surprise mover, moved as much as 15% in trade today, ended in the green, up by nearly 10%. No specific news here, but yes, a few days for the AGM, and probably there will be some more clarity on the fundraise plan here. Piramal Enterprises, that stock moved nearly 8% on the back of a share buyback announcement, which they'll consider in a board meeting in a later date. We also had Canfin Homes, which suffered in trade because of a fraud. Stock was down 10%. Deepak Fertilizer and Rustomjee are the two stocks which reacted to news and earnings. In fact, Deepak Fertilizer shares fell as much as 6% after the quarterly result announcement.
All right, those are some of the result reactions. Let's now talk about all the stocks that are on our radar. Of course, starting with Bajaj Finance, Yatin. Healthy set of numbers, profit 32% up, NII beat 26% up, new loans booked, in fact, that grew 34%, highest ever for the company. In fact, NPAs have been stable, assets under management have jumped 32%. All in all, numbers are looking very healthy, but it's the loan losses and provisions that have gone up over 30% that have come as a disappointment, I think, which is why, the street literally punished the stock, which was down somewhere around 3% at one time, but I think it ended lower by about 2% or thereabouts. I think cost to income ratio also has inched up slightly, which the street, of course, didn't like. But if you look at Bajaj Finance, I think, the stock has reversed the underperformance it saw last year. You had brokerages coming up with positive reports. This is one company that has undergone so many issues, so many challenges like, pandemic, consumer slowdown, the impact on books from all the interest rate hikes. But even then, over the last 2 decades, it has, clocked in solid growth. And which is why I think CLSA has, had come out with a report last quarter, which I always mention when I talk about the stock, is that, it has Kohli's aggression and Dravid's resilience. So that, of course, we'll have to see. But I think Bajaj Finance in itself is, I think, a prisoner of its own perfection, given the fact that it has aced the, unsecured loan book at a time when other established players have not been able to crack the code.
Yes.
So Bajaj Finance, of course, I was just looking at the guidance that has come in for Bajaj Finance. They have upped the ROE and ROA guidance as well. So we'll have to see how the brokerages read this earnings, and we'll, get to see that when we get brokerage reports tomorrow morning. But all in all, numbers look healthy, but it's just a couple of factors that have disappointed the street, which is why the stock has got a beating. I want to also mention that CLSA has recently upped the target to 9,000 rupees.
Yeah.
For the stock. So let's see how, today the stock obviously reacted negatively. Let's see how things pan out tomorrow morning.
Absolutely, but one stock which was not really happy in trade today was Canfin Homes. Yesterday the stock was on 5%. Today another 9% knockdown coming in for the stock because there were employees in a branch at Ambala which have reported a misappropriation and the fraud is amounting to close to 39 crores. Now obviously Canfin Homes is a very small company and a 38 crore fraud is quite large. In fact, we have Morgan Stanley which says that this could further dent the sentiment for the stock, given the fact that there have been multiple cases earlier also with respect to fraud which have been detected in Canfin Home, especially by the employees. Also, they expect a 4% impact on FY24 profits and overall a 10 basis points impact on the book value for Canfin Homes. However, they are overweight on the stock with a target of 1,000. But clearly, the repeated fraud issues at Canfin Home have been weighing on the share price. In fact, the recent management exit also had some impact on the stock price.
Right, that was about Canfin Homes. Of course, they've said that will be a one-off impact, and the books, of course, will not be impacted by that. But let's also talk about Tech Mahindra. The numbers have just come out. I think they are looking like a weak set, given the fact that rupee revenues have dropped 4%, profit has dropped over 30%. EBIT margins have also dropped over 30%. Of course, we will be getting you a commentary from the management once the press conference begins. But on the face of it, looks like a weak set of numbers. Haven't really seen the dollar revenue and CC revenue figures yet, but we will be getting you more on that. But let me also talk about the other stock on my list, that's the Tata Motors. That stock hit, of course, a fresh 52-week high in today's session, reacting to the strong performance in the first quarter rather. And of course, a lot has been talked about how Tata Motors DVR will be cancelled and delisted, and of course, shareholders will be getting ordinary shares, 7 ordinary shares for 10 DVR held by the shareholders. If you look at the brokerage view on Tata Motors, all of them are overweight. Target price, in fact, Jefferies has bumped up the target price to 800 rupees. Yatin, the stock has been the best performing stock in the Nifty, has gained in excess of 60%, I think, on a YTD basis. So already run up so much, but brokerages have said that expect more or higher targets, and Jefferies in fact sees upside risk to the FY24 guidance also, and it has upgraded the FY24 to FY26 EPS estimate by 6 to 8%. Margins, of course, expected to move higher. In fact, management has also said that they can expect the margins to move higher from here. So all in all, the stock has had a great run. No stopping this rally, given the fact that it's already run up 60%, and of course the move to cancel the DVRs is actually being looked upon as a technical buyback by the company, which has been of course cheered by the investors, given the fact that Tata Motors DVR was up somewhere around 13 to 14% in today's session. Yatin.
Absolutely, and this is one stock to watch out for. Obviously, the stock has run up ahead of the results, but today also the stock was looking quite buoyant on good volumes. One stock which is on the radar, that is Jubliant Foodworks. Now, CLSA has a sell rating on Jubliant Foodworks, target 460 rupees per share. Now, if you look at Jubliant Foodworks, the margin continues to contract despite the fact that there have been various cost control measures which have been taken by the company. In fact, input costs are elevated, the same store sales growth or the like-for-like growth also has been muted according to CLSA, and moving ahead the pace of store addition is expected to moderate according to analysts. In fact, if you look at the stock, it has corrected almost 18% in the last 1 year and has been falling below 5-year median valuations. So yes, there is some de-rating which has happened in the stock, and CLSA expects further downside in the counter. Today, if you look at the share price of Jubliant Foodworks, was under pressure by nearly 2%. Yesterday moved up post the results, but yes, I think the management commentary was slightly muted, because of which there was some correction in the share price of Jubliant Foodworks.
Right, it's the higher input costs or raw material costs that are hurting the earnings. Even in last quarter, that I remember the earnings were under pressure. But some more details emerging from Tech Mahindra numbers. CC revenues have declined over 4% vis-a-vis expectations of 1 to 2%. So this is looking like a pretty weak set, and of course, stock will be reacting to management commentary as well as the earnings tomorrow morning, and we'll have to digest what the street is also, the street's view on the first quarter performance as well. Well, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. If you have any comments, send them in to us in the comment section below and we will have them addressed if there is anything to address, that is. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. I'll be back with the markets. But in a short while, we'll be getting the management of Tech Mahindra. So don't forget to tune in for that. Thanks a lot for watching.